yourself at home, do your do. Welcome to my pad, this your lab. Go create your move. I got a crib by the water. Say me casa, su casa. It feel like Casablanca. Shawty, you my little mama. I got a crib.
What's good, everybody? It's 99 miles per hour with me, your host, Percy Garner, and we ain't gonna talk about how long it's been since I put an episode. I think the last one I had, Tegan Jr., shout out to him for doing the episode with me. Didn't plan not to do another episode for a long time, but here we are. And I got a special guest, a family member in-house. But before we get to our guest and the conversation we're going to have today, I feel like we got a lot to catch up on. You know, I've been doing podcasts for Big Time Sports. I get paid to do that. That's why I've been prioritizing that one. Hopefully you guys are still here looking for an upload to happen. That will be happening soon. And who knows? We might be doing more episodes here. You know, we might be talking about the things that I'm interested in now, golf, cycling, you know, all the nerdy stuff. But this conversation today is going to be about the typical sports that we talk about on here. We might touch on the baseball, but it's more likely going to be basketball, and we're going to be talking with family. So, but before we get into that, make sure you guys join the 99 miles per hour Discord. I got lots of high school players in there that are constantly asking me questions about pitching, the whole nine. If you got hitting questions, don't ask me, but maybe someone in there can help you. So make sure you join that. The link will be in the description. Also, before we get to our guest, subscribe. I think we're above 500, and that's cool and all, but I know I'm making a promise. There's going to be more videos uploaded. Don't worry. I promise. We got stuff coming up to shoot. All right. But I'll still be doing Big Time Sports Podcast too. So if you guys want to follow that channel as well, I might link that one down there as well. So we had 1,000 subscribers on there. YouTube did some weird stuff. Now we're starting from the beginning, but it's all good. But today's conversation, we're going to be talking about the greatest of all time in the NBA. And this person I'm about to introduce, we kind of argue about this every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? My wife always be like, are you talking to, you know, because she hears what we're talking about. But we're both passionate about the NBA, even though we're not good at basketball. We gravitate towards the NBA, and I've known this person their whole life and never before been on the podcast. I think this might be his first podcast. I know a lot of you haven't met all of my family. I had my older brother on the podcast years ago, and now it's time to meet my younger brother, who is my bigger brother physically. He graduated from McKinley. Do not hold that against him. Couldn't get him to come down here to Dover. But my younger brother, who I love and I'm excited to have on the show, he's been bugging me for a long time to get on here. And I'm pretty sure he's real nervous. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Dominique Ruffin. How we doing? You good?
I'm doing great.
All right. Was
Great
that a long intro for you?
It was a good intro.
Oh, okay. All right. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been doing this for a while. I don't know, combining both 99 and Big Time Sports, this might be like episode 200. So I don't know. I've done a lot, not as much as who you've been referencing, Joe Rogan, but I've been doing a lot of episodes. But no, I'm excited to have you on. And remember, we just me and you, just like we do on the phone, we talking, you know, gaming, NBA, all that stuff. So, and then we might end with a little bit of serious stuff. But we'll also be talking about some AI. You know, I know you want to talk about that a little bit, and I've seen some crazy stuff. It was funny that you brought that up. Because I saw in China, there's an AI robot that's running down the hill and completing tasks and stuff. I'm like, okay, they about to do some crazy stuff. But before we get to all that, I just want to let people know, you know, you were a football player. You played at McKinley. You had a knee injury, so that kind of dampened a lot of your college football experience that you want to go after and achieve. But, you know, that didn't stop you from, you know, continue to love sports. And we always talking about it. Obviously, our family's sports. But I kind of want to get, you know, what's been going on, because me and you always argue about KD, LeBron, Kobe, all that stuff. And then some big news hit, and KD was traded to the Houston Rockets. I know whatever team KD's on is your favorite team. So I just want to get your opinion on that trade. I think you're happy about it, right?
Yeah, somewhat.
Why somewhat?
Well, because I didn't want him to be bouncing around so much, and the experience in Brooklyn was great.
Could have been better.
It could have been better.
Injuries.
But I feel like his time it was the last time that I seen him be like real dominant, especially that Game 7 against Milwaukee, famous toe on the line.
Yeah.
But
Was you thinking? Hold on. Was you thinking about that when they had that meme when Halliburton hit that three, and he thought he won the game and he was celebrating, doing all this stuff, and they had that meme of the dude pointing at the TV like that was KD saying, "No, his foot was on the line," just because. And if you follow ESPN and Stephen A., he thinks they would have won the whole thing that year, even without his sidekicks, Kyrie and Harden or whoever he had that year.
Yeah,
but
I definitely think so. Only because when Kyrie sprained his ankle, they was going against the Bucks, but then they had time. He would have had time to heal against Atlanta. I think the Brooklyn would have got past Atlanta. No disrespect to Atlanta. I love Trae Young.
Hey, you ain't got to be.
them.
Hey, you got to talk to me like you on the phone. Don't be trying to be all. Trae Young. They ain't gonna be watching this, so you good. They was gonna get past Atlanta. What else?
And I feel like that would have gave Kyrie time to come back because you got to think that game too. They were up. I think they won by like 40 points against Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So, and then the time in Phoenix. He got there. He sprained his ankle when he first got traded. Came in. I think they beat the Clippers. End up beating the Clippers. Obviously, Paul George wasn't playing. Then Kawhi got injured, and I think they just had Russ out there. He was kind of going crazy a little bit too. But and then they went against the Nuggets. Won 2 games against the Nuggets, and then that was it. Then they just blew the whole team up. Traded Ayton. Got rid of CP3. So it's just been a lot of, ever since he left Golden State, it been a lot of inconsistencies with the team.
Yeah.
And I feel like he get a lot of backlash from it, but he shows up and plays. So
Yeah, I will say the one thing about KD. Everyone likes to say that just because he responds to people on social media and stuff that he's they don't say soft, but they say that because he responds to everything that he's like, I forget what word they use, but for me, it's not like he's crumbling under pressure after he does all this. Like, he still goes out and competes, and he still shoots 50% from the field, 40% from 3, 90% from free throw. And even though, I went through this period where when we talk about the new generation of players, I pick LeBron over KD and Kobe. Jordan's still my GOAT, but we'll get into that. But yeah, I think KD gets a bad rap, and I always loved his game. To me, he was an alien. He was like Wemby before Wemby. And I feel like he kind of brought that, like he didn't want to be known as a 7-foot dude. He always lists himself as 6'9", and then you start seeing him next to his 7-foot teammates and he the same height.
yeah.
And, but KD is funny to me too. Obviously, he's one of the all-time greats. And, he has caught a bad rap switching teams. But at this point, I feel like that's just how the game is. When you look at it from a lens from like, Jordan and the people in the 80s and 90s, they didn't have as much control as the players do, which sometimes the players might not take advantage the best way. But it's still, at the end of the day, I think better for players. They got more control over their destinations. Before, you could be with your family and buy a new house, and then next thing you know, you traded and you got to get rid of the house. And then no one thinks, hey, because you're making millions, that you must be fine no matter what. But it still takes a toll, especially like we saw Luka, how hard he took that trade. But, I mean, I know you agree with me. KD gets a bad rap when I don't think he deserves it.
Yeah, I definitely think when he was talking about going to the Rockets and I think it was the Rockets, Spurs, Miami, this is probably like his last chapter. And that's one of the things he was saying when an organization can like balance the future of, your last days is not, he wanted a little bit more control. So that's why he said, I'm not signing the extension with no one else other than those 3 teams. So, which makes sense. Like you said, you're getting older. You don't want to you want to have some control.
I kind of forget how old that KD is, mid-30s, right?
I think he's 36, but he sat out that year with the Achilles. So it's like year 18, 36
That's
or something.
crazy that he's year 18. But I always thought LeBron would taper off before this. I didn't think he would continue to play I figured KD, because he doesn't need to jump out the gym. He can just shoot over you, and he's got all the skills that go around it. And I felt like LeBron's skill level, handling the ball and all that, it's obviously he's an all-time great. It's not terrible. But when you compare it to someone like KD handles like a point guard and he can shoot over anybody. So I was like, KD, I can see his career being real long and stretched out. So I think KD is going to be one of those people that can play as long as they want. I just didn't see LeBron because LeBron was always playing above the rim and just stronger and faster than everybody. But I don't know. He on something else.
Well, he got better jump shooting and stuff now.
True.
I think he shot his highest from 3%
He
last year.
He did.
I just feel like LeBron, every player got a different way they changed the game, like far as NBA history. I feel like LeBron changed the game with his longevity.
Yeah.
It's almost going to be, I can't say almost like expected to play that long. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like other guys going to push themselves harder and take care of their bodies because they watch what he done over the last 22 seasons going into 23. So
yeah,
I definitely see guys pushing themselves to, change the narrative.
I mean, I think that could be a negative though, just because I feel like that's why LeBron gets kind of a negative thing because MJ set, expectations to a certain level. And then LeBron, he went about things his own way. But, people looking from the outside looking in, they still held, okay, if Michael Jordan was the greatest, this is how you got to act. This is how you got to behave. You can't comment. Jordan didn't comment on political stuff. So it's a good thing that LeBron's inspiring the younger generation to want to take care of your body. I still don't think the majority of players are going to do it just because it's a different, LeBron has dedicated his life to this. And I feel like some people don't take it as serious. They kind of get to the NBA and they're just like, well, I made it, And I kind of had that same attitude when I got to the MLB. I was like, I made it. I wasn't thinking, all right, I'm here now. Let me set new goals and all this stuff. So it's a good thing and a bad thing because I don't think they should expect every player to play 20 plus years.
Yeah.
I mean, but he at least put the blueprint out there like, hey, it's possible. So, but why are we on LeBron? So do you think LeBron is doing his little passive aggressive, not saying much, but doing a whole lot of things to maybe get things to go his way? He wants to play for a winner, Rich Paul said, and the Lakers don't really look like they're going for NBA championship this year. They're trying to build around Luka, and LeBron understands, but he still wants to play for a championship. So do you think he's going to start the season as a Laker?
I don't know. It's tough to say because it's a lot to have to go into that. It's either someone have to trade for him. He got a high salary, I think like $53 million, or he could possibly maybe get bought out. Like we just seen Brad Beal get bought out. The
Wait,
Lakers.
are you happy about that, by the way? Brad Beal getting bought out?
Brad Beal. I can't.
Hey, I ain't never seen Dominique trying to be so politically correct out here.
I can't. Brad Beal is a nice guy.
Nice player, but you didn't want him on the Suns no more.
He's part-time. I can't.
But now, I mean, you don't really care because now your favorite team is the Rockets now. So and just to let people know, he did love the Lakers. Then LeBron joined the Lakers, so because Kobe was his player. And then it turned to whoever KD was playing for. But
well, like going back to the LeBron question with the Lakers, I watched them towards Kobe's tender there, like they didn't really do anything. Yeah. They didn't really bring no one else in, and they had like drafting. They was always a like lottery team. It seemed like they drafted Lonzo. Maybe not. I don't think Lonzo was there just quite yet, but I know D'Angelo Russell and Julius Randle was there. Guys like Jordan Clarkson. When I was a Lakers fan, that's who I was watching. Yeah. So it seemed like the Lakers, once they go into a different direction, they kind of like move on, and I think they're just going into the Luka direction now. Yeah.
Which is smart.
Yeah. But I feel like LeBron, before they even traded for Luka, I feel like LeBron and they were doing good.
Yeah, that's true.
I think they went on a 12, 13 game win streak.
Yeah, but I think when you dealing behind doors and you got things in the mix, I mean, you probably already made up your mind at a certain point. They probably was thinking about this stuff before they went on that. But
yeah,
I mean, it's hard to tell. But at the end of the day, it's all entertainment to me. And people are you either love or hate LeBron. I don't really think there's the people that are just like, oh, I don't have an opinion. He's just doing his life. You either, hate him for the decision, even though he raised millions of dollars for kids. People look at that as a bad thing. Which I didn't get that. I mean, I didn't like, I'm a Cavs fan. and I didn't like that he left. But I'm not one of those people out here burning jerseys and saying he's a terrible human because he made his decision on a TV show. I think that helped catapult the situation the way it is for players now, being able to control your own destiny. So
I will say, if he could some way facilitate his way back to the Cavs, I feel like the East is wide open. You got
the Cleveland Sports Radio was talking about it, and I'm like, ain't no way. But like we was talking about before with the welcome back hat, and he's playing golf. I don't know if you saw Steph Curry making fun of his golf swing, but
he said something about
it was rookie hazing. But no, Steph is hilarious, by the way. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think I don't have any conspiracy theories, but the NBA is it's crazy these days. So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up. But at the end of the day, I'm going to watch LeBron and admire, and, hopefully Bronny has a good career, But I think either way with Bronny, he's either, they're hyping him up on SportsCenter for doing something well, or they're focusing too much negative. So it's like he has no LeBronny had a good night. It's, he got an offensive rebound. That's just incredible.
Yeah,
or, whatever it is. So, but no, I don't wish bad on anybody. But hopefully he has a good career. And I just don't want LeBron to stick around too long where it's looking like, all right, who is this player? Because he already starting to show them signs where you just like, this man let the ball. I don't know if you saw that clip of him letting the ball roll up so the clock wouldn't roll, and it just rolled out of bounds. So I'm like, LeBron. That's what I think Charles Barkley's saying too. Like, come on, Bron, don't tarnish your image trying to stay too long.
That's one thing though. I still think he's still getting his numbers, and he's still, turn it on when he have to.
Yeah.
I forget who he was playing. I think it was Minnesota. He had a couple ridiculous. It was ridiculous threes.
Yeah.
Like it was threes that make you want to quit, But Anthony Edwards would come down and hit some right back.
Yeah.
So it's like, but LeBron threes they're ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, they are. He be logoing out there. He be hitting the Caitlin Clark threes. But but yeah, it's interesting. But we talking about the NBA, we talking about LeBron, we even talked about Kobe a little bit. And I want to share a story after we talk about this next part. So, if you had to name a top 5, and we know this could be changing, based on, new information, or, I don't know where you got KD. Most of the people that are retired or gone, rest in peace, Kobe, they're probably not moving, but you never know. But, okay. So, obviously, all the sports shows, they love talking about this at least once a week. So they made a lot of money on this conversation too. So, and I feel like other people's podcasts, when they have people on, they always ask them, who you got top 5. You don't have to give them to me in order. I'll cut you some slack. But who is your top 5 NBA all time?
All right, I'm gonna give you my top 5. I'm gonna give you the greatest top 5 in my opinion too.
Okay.
But I'm gonna give you my top 5 first. So my top 5 would be Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Kobe.
Oh, you got KD above him, or you're just in?
No, I'm just giving you the top 5 people that I like.
Okay,
watching.
KD, Kobe.
Harden.
Okay, Harden.
Kyrie.
All right.
And this last one going to surprise you, but LaMarcus Aldridge.
LaMarcus Aldridge. Okay.
Yeah. To me, LaMarcus Aldridge he was low key. He was a bucket.
Yeah, I mean, he was.
Yeah, he was a bucket. I think he's up there in 20,000 points. So he was definitely a bucket. But far as the top 5 of all time.
So that first was just the people you liked.
That's the people that I like.
Okay.
That's not saying that
like
these
that
are
you like watching.
Yeah, that I like watching. I feel like every top 5 list, it's my opinion, it's like the rapper. If you don't start with Biggie and Tupac, I don't even really want to hear the rest of your list.
Okay.
So I feel like the top 3 got to be Kobe, Jordan, LeBron. I don't care what order you have them in. You can have LeBron first, you can have Jordan first, you can have Kobe first.
Who you got first?
I'm going to go Kobe.
Okay.
Because I watch more so of Kobe.
That makes sense.
I didn't really watch that much of MJ. I seen the highlights and
yeah,
things.
It's not the same. I got to watch a little bit, but I didn't really know much about it. But I still got him as number 1. But
yeah. So them are my 3.
Okay, Kobe, Jordan, LeBron.
Yes. And I'm going to go Shaq.
Okay.
I'm going to go Shaq and Tim Duncan.
Okay. All right. So I'll do mine. and I like the way you kind of did it first with the people you like. So people I like, I'm gonna do it in order. I like small guys. I'm not a big guy. I don't like. I mean, I'm a big guy, but I don't like, the centers. That nothing against them. They're great. Hakeem, Bill Russell, Will, all those greats. Shaq, love them, but it's just not. I'm not like, ooh, let me turn on and see Shaq just bully everybody and dunk on them. Like that's not.
Yeah, I feel like you like skill.
Yeah,
you like
yeah,
skill
I like
guys.
handle.
You always
I
said
like
that,
handle.
yeah.
So I would say the people I like most, love watching. Number 1, Allen Iverson. Number 2, Michael Jordan. Number 3, Kyrie. Number 4, this I feel like this is going to surprise, some people just because what he's done to my Cavs, but Steph. And then my number 5 is I kind of and they're from the same era, and they're both like I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Larry Bird. So I used to say Magic, but I've been increasingly growing more fond of Larry just because I feel like he did more things, and Magic really couldn't shoot, and that's part of skill for basketball for me. But everything else, but yeah, I got AI, Jordan, Kyrie, and then who was that for? Who did I say for? Larry. No, I said Larry was 5th. Dang. Wait, did I forget somebody?
I feel like did you leave out LeBron?
Yeah, LeBron. I like watching him, but even when I go back and watch his highlights now, he just is a fake player to me. Like when I go back and see how athletic and fast this dude was and bigger, it just didn't seem fair. Like, and he didn't need certain handle and skill. And the common thing right now is for people to say, "Well, LeBron ain't got no bag." I think they was talking about that. I think he got a bag. It's not that. It's just, to me, it wasn't always pretty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I gotta rethink. Who did I have in that 4th spot? I feel like I had someone. So it was AI, Jordan, Kyrie. Can't remember what I had in the 4th. And I'm not putting Kobe up there.
You put Curry in there.
Oh, Curry, Steph, and then Larry. And it was hard because I was struggling. I was gonna put Tracy McGrady in there, but I don't know. His jump shot, I didn't like it that much, the way it looked.
Tracy McGrady, I seen him talking about if he was with Shaq, he could have won rings too. I hate the hypotheticals. Like, it's really bad. And
I mean, but you don't refute that.
I mean,
I might refute saying, hey, you might not have won with Kobe's last 2 rings.
Yeah.
But with that team that they had, I would say yes. But
if he would have stayed, if he would have stayed healthy,
true. It's hard to tell. But I also like the stuff that's coming out about Kobe after the fact. How the coach, Kobe was so confident early on, and the coach kind of put him in positions to fail on purpose because they wasn't really feeling him early on because this is an 18-year-old kid coming in here with this confidence. And I remember the playoff game they put him in, and he shot like 2 air balls or something like that. And just to not even be affected by that, just obviously we always know he got the black mama mentality. And, my daughter, I think she might love Kobe more than you.
Oh, yeah.
Peyton is all about it. And, I've never not respected Kobe. To me, for me, it's like I love Jordan. And I feel like he was just Jordan of my era. Like, of course, he could shoot the 3 better than Jordan, so I gave you my 5 that I like. Mm-hmm. I'll go over the 5 that I think are best all time. All right, I got Jordan, I got LeBron, and then is when it gets tough. I got Kareem, and then. This is what it's a struggle for me after this. So for me, it's easy to name those 3. And then after that, I'm going to go, I guess I got to go Wilt. And then I'll go, I can't give it to Magic just because the teams they were on were just, and I know Kareem was on that team, but Kareem was on the team before Magic and they got the draft pick. So I was just like, what is going on? Kind of like the Mavericks right now. But, but at 5, I'm going to say, I'm gonna say Robert Ory. No, I'm joking. I'm gonna say that's tough. I'll say Kobe. I'll say Kobe 5. So I got Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Wilt, Kobe. I just wish I would easily put Magic in there, to be honest, if he played like a full career, but obviously other circumstances.
Why do you have Wilt in there though?
Just because, man, I don't know, he was just so dominant. And it's almost like the Bo Jackson effect, where you hear about like some fictional stories. I don't know if they're fictional or not. Like they're like, yeah, Bo Jackson jumped over a 40-foot gap in the road. Like
I seen a clip on Twitter of Wilt, and someone did the gameplay in like 2D. I think they got it maybe with using AI or something, but he was out there grabbing like goaltending shots, like offensive interference. Like guys that shoot it, he'll grab it out the air and then dunk it. And it's just like the game. He couldn't have. I mean, I'm not taking it away nothing from him, but that's just I can't watch.
Well, the argument I think you were going to go with is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you were probably going to say like you can't do that in today's game. But I feel like if he was born in 1990, he would be a different human. Like you got to remember, this dude was a phenomenal track athlete. Like he was a beast overall.
Yeah.
And if he grew up in this era, I feel like his skill set would be different. Back then, they weren't doing certain things. He was just doing what he did at the time. And the reason I got Kareem up there is because they literally put rules against this dude because he was too good.
Yeah, I didn't put Kareem in my top 5. No disrespect to Kareem, but I just feel like I didn't really watch him that much. So, I mean, the same thing with Jordan. I didn't watch Jordan, but three-peat twice, go play baseball and come back and you're still winning. That's kind of ridiculous. So
yeah, and the reason I got Jordan up there number 1 is just because I didn't see a lot of him, early stage. I saw his second three-peat, and still at that age, I wasn't like, I was like 5, 6, 7, like you know what I'm saying? I was watching it, but I don't use the same argument that everybody does, like, oh, he's 6-0 in the championships with 6 Finals MVPs. Like the three-peat thing is crazy. I will say that. But if we're going to talk about his perfect thing in the finals, I think it matters that all the other years he didn't go, or like, I don't think that's the reason that I'm like, oh, he every time he went to the finals, he won. Like, I don't think that, to me, that argument doesn't compute. But
and I feel like that's kind of what hurt LeBron a lot. I always tell my buddies, because they're diehard LeBron fans, we don't argue like we normally do, because it be getting serious. but I just feel like LeBron didn't win enough. I feel like maybe if he would have won two more rings there, maybe. I mean, he probably, if he go to the Cavs, he might sneak another one out. But I feel like he just didn't win enough. I feel like that's what separated like guys like Tom Brady, like, because a minute they were still saying like Joe Montana and people were better than Tom Brady. Then he just kept winning and winning and winning. Yeah. And people that didn't even like Tom Brady, like, I'm not really that big of a fan. You don't even have an argument. Yeah. Like, that's how, because I'm not really a Tom Brady fan. I was more so Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, those type of guys. But he just kept winning, and you can't. Yeah,
Tom Brady really wasn't, athletic, and it didn't look pretty all the time. But I will say the thing, I think is big for Jordan is the all defensive teams and the 10 scoring titles. So
10?
Yeah, he had 10. And he averaged over 30 in one game. I mean, in one season. So
10 is crazy. I didn't know he had 10.
Yeah. But I know him and LeBron just are different. But I still love LeBron. It's just Jordan is just, it's like poetry. When you watch him play, like the scene in Space Jam when they had that "Fly Like an Eagle" song, like that's forever gonna be implanted in my brain. And then the songs when they announced the Bulls, like it's different. It's stuff that you can't replace. And I didn't have the attitude of, judging Jordan as a kid. Like I wasn't looking at like, oh, he's got some bad habits off the court. Like I didn't care about that. So if you just look at his game, people was calling this man Jesus. So that's when you just know it's out of control. But so that's my top 5. I know it was a long, drawn out version, but I wasn't anticipating giving my top 5. But But why do you think you gravitate towards Kobe? So before, because we gonna wrap it up, but we gotta hear, because I think typically it's it's the type of person he was. He always was trying to win. You never would accuse Kobe of, except one time, of like quitting or doing anything other than just being the best. Like Kobe doesn't come along with half-hearted efforts, And I only say that one time is when he just refused to shoot. He was just trying to make a point. But and then I just recently saw that clip when he was saying, and it's just a competitor name. I don't blame him at all, but he was talking about people were saying, he sidekick and all that stuff. And he was like, okay, and he went on to win, 2 without Shaq. But I always admire Kobe for that. I'm glad my daughter Peyton is, that she likes Kobe. And of course, it. I don't know if I told people on the show that we almost named her Kobe, but everyone around here was saying Colby with an L, like the cheese. So my wife was like, nah, we ain't doing that. And we ended up with Peyton. But now she's like, we didn't know she was going to want a full Kobe uniform with the Lakers socks, the Kobe shoes. We didn't know that was going to pan out. So now she
got the shoes.
Yeah, it would have been nice if we could have named her that now, but that's, that's water under the bridge. But yeah, so why do you gravitate and choose Kobe as someone that you were just like, yeah, he's the one?
Kobe was like the first person that when I started like understanding basketball a little bit, and it was, I think they were losing against the Detroit Pistons when they had broke up, after was it 04 Pistons?
Yeah.
04 Pistons had beat them. And we were we had moved back from Detroit with my other mom, so she was a huge Pistons fan. So she used to always watch it on TV. So I just started watching, and she always say Kobe this or Kobe that, and I kind of picked up on it, and I started following this game. And like, going in school, you got ball up the paper ball, you shooting over people Kobe. Saying Kobe, and it's just like, you watch him over time, and it's just I always like the different guy. So people start going towards LeBron when he came in. So I'm always like the opposite. I don't know why. I'm always
go against the grain.
Yeah, I'm not going to go with the overall selection. That's just how I am. But the Mamba mentality and, and just watching Kobe and, like just even when Shaq had left and getting Gasol and Bynum and still have Fisher and Artest and just watching those games and stuff, and it really drew me into basketball. So
that's what's up.
Yeah, he was someone, and then when he retired, I wasn't going to go with LeBron because they always used to have that debate, who's better.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, who's this KD guy? And so I jumped on the KD bandwagon there. Well, it wasn't really, I feel like more people used to like KD before the Golden State.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the LeBron fans is mad because he probably robbed LeBron of a couple of rings.
But that's what makes that whole era amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, nobody was beating Jordan. It's not fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun because it's fun to watch greatness, but I feel like not many people are like Jordan, where I'm a Cavs fan, but when Jordan's playing, I'm rooting for the Bulls. I feel like most people, like Tom Brady, when he's playing, I don't think that computes that same way. I feel like people hated Tom Brady because he always won. I didn't really hear people hating Jordan because he always won.
Yeah,
you never hear that.
Yeah,
right?
you skipped that part because now, like anything, when you're too successful, people get tired of it.
That's true. And there's a lot more opinions out there. We didn't hear from Joe Schmo in Colorado about Jordan's career on Twitter because it didn't exist. We only heard ESPN, and they loved him some Jordan because he kept probably SportsCenter and all that alive all those years. And the NBA. I mean, he started when they had the Dream Team and they went to Barcelona. He started all that, and obviously there was other greats, but just Jordan took it to a whole nother level. Wearing basketball shoes with street clothes wasn't really a thing, and he kind of made that. So it's a lot of things he did and had an impact on it. But yeah, I always respect Kobe. My daughter got a poster up in her room of got to get better, 1% better every day, and I try to put that in her brain right now. So it's someone that I think, especially what he was doing after he retired too. And the story I wanted to share was, I think it was 2016 was the year he retired. Was in Akron, and we were on a bus trip back. I can't remember where we were coming from, but we all knew this was Kobe's last game. And, the tech nerd I am, nobody was able to watch it, but I was watching the game on my phone. And it was just, to me, obviously Kobe's great, but at that age, you can tell it wasn't Kobe. But that game, I feel like he was better than old Kobe.
Oh, yeah, he was definitely getting buckets. I think Shaq challenged him to get like 50, and he got 60. Yeah.
And it was just so fun. I'm sitting in the back of the bus. Usually I'm knocked out on the bus, no matter how short or long the trip is. But I just remember in the final part, we had got off the bus, and I'm like walking, tripping over things because I'm looking at the phone as we going in, and it was amazing. This man kept making shots, and it was just everybody was rooting for him, obviously in the arena. And
I think he was gassed too.
Yeah, oh my God, he was tired way before that though. That's why it was more heroic because he kept scoring. I'm like, this dude can barely jump on his jump shots, and everything is still going in, and I was just like, this is crazy. And it was something else. And, you love when those moments happen just in sports. And but those moments always bring people together. So, but yeah, and he was, writing the little kids' books and doing all this stuff. And it's just, it's sad that it had to end that way. But, there's good that's going to come from it. And that already has come from it. So, yeah. Before we touch on a little AI, let's talk about family. So, you wanted to talk about mom, and I think I've talked a little bit on this platform already, but it was mainly negative stuff and talking about Clemmy and all that. So, I mean, the thing you mentioned was, mom. I put in the outline, mom was the glue. Mm-hmm. She was someone who always liked to have a good time, and but she was also serious about certain things, and it was. She always wanted us as siblings to be close no matter what. That's the only time I think she really would get hot if we was fighting or arguing. She would reach her boiling point with that because, when I'm gone, y'all gotta be, and no, like you said, because you sent me this in the text, like, even though we weren't all in the same household, mom was still holding us together one way or another. Even with, a lot of mistakes she made, she ended up still being able to make a positive impact on us. And I think that was dope. And then you obviously, like you had another mom that you had who obviously made a positive impact just because she was, I always remember is she was just there for so many people and so many kids in the household. We have someone locally named Arlene who's similar, just maybe kids who, I don't know, maybe probably would have ended up in a way worse off situation if she wasn't around. And I think that's pretty dope. But I want to kind of give you the floor because, I can keep jabbing. But what did for you, because I don't think I asked you straight up, like, hey, man, like, how was your relationship with mom and where did y'all, because we ain't got to go into details about, why we were all in the different households. I will say the reason I is because she flat out said that when I was a baby, I don't know if I was 2, 3, or 4 or something, whenever my parents split up, I was always crying for my dad. So she was just like, I want him to be with his dad, grow up with a father figure. But my parents split up and it was peaceful. She moved across the street for a little bit. So there was no crazy, relationship arguments between them after they broke up. But for you, from your vantage point, how was that relationship with mom, with us? I know we got pictures of you as a child and my dad's home and stuff like that. But from your point of view, how was the relationship with my dad's side and with mom and all that?
Well, at first it was strange. I don't think my IQ was kicking in. I was a young child, and mom used to always come up, you, Carrie, and Mar.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, you want to go with us to Pizza Hut or, all these different places. We coming down to your brother's game. You got me the hoodie with Gardner on the back and stuff. And at first I wasn't comprehending. I'm like, well, who are these people? They said, and Carrie's like, I'm your brother. I mean, that's your brother. I'm your sister. And I remember this day we went to Pizza Hut, and this is when they had all the pizza laid out and stuff, and
Yeah.
everybody was having a good time. I want to say Carrie might had enough because Carrie always was the one that,
for sure,
yeah,
for sure.
Carrie all the like the short temper.
Yeah.
Carrie was like, "That's your mom," and I'm like, "Huh?" You're like, I
See, I
wasn't.
didn't know this. I didn't know this.
Yeah, so Carrie was like, "That's your mom." I'm like, "Huh?" I started getting, all confused and like scared and stuff. And it was
Yeah.
a payphone, and mom gave me $2, and I
shit.
called my dad's sister, which I grew up calling my mom, and
Yeah.
I said, "Can you come get me? These people are saying that this is my mom, and I'm scared." So
Yeah.
it was just that day, and then my mom finally had to talk to me, like, that our mom, she
Yeah.
had to talk that, I gave you up to Miranda, which is my aunt, but I called her mom for a better life because obviously I wasn't Clemmy's son.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and, and I never faulted her for that. And if you want to go by the Bible, your husband always come first. So before the kids, so
True,
if you want to
true.
take it that way, but I always loved mom, and we had a great relationship, especially when I got older.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to stop by her house there that she had, and water fights. She always was real fun. Like,
Yeah.
outside playing in the rain, talking about this the first spring rain, make your hair grow. She was a very fun person.
Yeah.
And I never like faulted her for giving me to my dad's sister. Um,
I mean, it
but
would be a tough situation. I'm sure
well, it
she
would,
wanted to keep you both.
yeah, but if her husband is in a house and stuff, that could have been bad.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with the upbringing that I had and
Yeah.
coming down there. I wish that maybe me and you were in the same household.
Yeah.
It'd been a little bit better and stuff, but
Yeah.
I feel like we still made up. I was at your games and we still did a lot of fun stuff. So
I will say that's kind of, since there was a big difference, because I'm not that much older than you compared to Jason is to me. And so we didn't really connect until I got older. I mean, but he was, he would, give me advice and all that, but I was a young knucklehead, so I didn't really care. He was just there so I could steal his shoes. Um, but to be honest, there was a point where I was just focused on getting to college and stuff. And obviously I love family and hanging out and having a good time. But I think mom was like cognizant of that. She was like, Purse is doing his thing. So that's why she always really emphasized it with me, make sure, you spend time and do this and that with your sisters and brothers and stuff. And I'm glad she did. And it's just, she was a different person where she was not afraid to say what she thought
or
to her
call
kids.
call you out on
Yeah,
different things.
Yeah, and you said she liked to have fun. I mean, even when she was, her last few hours, we was playing the game. We was playing Hangman.
Yeah.
So she was all about the games, and I think that's where we got our gaming from because she used to play Pac-Man back in the day on the thing. So
Yeah, she always had her routine, So
and they said she was one of the best at Pac-Man. She was getting to all the, they called them boards back then, all the levels before everybody else.
They said she was good in basketball too.
Oh
So
yeah.
I don't know how I didn't get none of it.
I think it just skipped a generation since none of her kids really. But then hopefully we'll see if Peyton, because Peyton resembles her a little bit, and Peyton loves hoop. She's obsessed, and we'll have to see. I want a lot of the stuff. I don't know what parts to kind of roll in, but also combine the AI point with mom. I don't know how you use AI but I just know how, my wife and kids how they use it. They're using a lot of Instagram, Snapchat stuff and all the AI stuff. And I can just picture mom doing that type of stuff. But it's crazy, all the different applications you can use. And but do you currently use it in everyday life, or do you do it for just for the giggles and stuff?
I wouldn't say like everyday life. Maybe I like Chat GPT. I use it to make like funny videos or pictures, modify stuff to see how far it can go. But it's definitely becoming like the new Google.
Yeah.
Before I open up Google, I open up Chat GPT and ask the question. So
well, see, I feel like when I Google something, Google's using AI to give me it'll depending on what you Google. Like if I Google, what is the drill bit for this specific piece of equipment, that will most likely bring up like a PDF manual from that thing. But if I Google other things, the AI response is kind of there first, and it highlights the thing that I asked. And I'm like, okay, so
it always say AI overview or
Yeah.
AI review now, like the first thing.
yeah, and I rarely have to scroll past that to get to something else. Usually the AI thing answers my question, and I'm like, no. So, and now that's like my first thing. I don't really go strictly. I use Notion. That's what I'm kind of in right now, and that has AI, but I don't use it a lot. I know I should use it a lot more for work and to kind of make things, because at my job, I'm the only full-time employee, so I need a free assistant, or even if we pay a little bit, it's way cheaper than paying somebody else $30,000-$40,000. So
And I think the reason why I wanted to bring this up is I think that's kind of where the world is going to be going. It's going to be a lot cheaper to do stuff with AI than have an actual human. But
yeah,
I don't think people should panic that much, only because I feel like maybe the government's still going to have to give you some type of purpose. You can't just lay everybody off and tell them to go. It gotta be.
you can't go kick rocks.
Yeah,
I feel like there's always gonna be something.
Yeah, it's going to be something, and I feel like maybe I don't know. Like I remember I was watching this podcast with Joe Rogan, and they were talking about maybe giving people like a monthly income. Like like they were saying like maybe because you still gotta have people that have purpose. Like say if AI take over the whole world, you can't just tell humans to sit there and be okay. It's gonna be chaos.
Yeah.
So the first thing you do to calm them down, like, hey, here go $5,000 a month. And maybe I'm just saying these are some of the ideas they had because people are scared that it's going to take all the way over.
Well, I know years ago there was I would say there was like a moment where people were like, oh, and then there was a moment like, oh, they still gonna need humans. But then I think it's progressing quicker than people anticipated.
I think it's progressing way quicker. And it was another video of this doctor. He really like CAT scans and X-rays. The AI was finding it in seconds. He said, I went to school for like 11 years to do this. And the AI figured out the problem within seconds. So, I mean, you just can't send all the doctors home.
That's true.
So it's like, if it gets this advanced, what are they going to do with the people? You got to figure something out.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
And if you're saving more money from all of these jobs being cut, there's going to be some extra money somewhere. I mean, I'm not saying everybody just gets free.
Business owners love their profits.
I mean, I'm just saying I'm not advocating for everybody to just get free money. I'm just saying that the AI take over, it's going to be chaos. You're going to have to calm us down.
He said us. Well, I mean, that's why you should probably focus on jobs and careers that AI can't take. But I don't know. AI might be able to take being on camera and making videos. I don't know. Because
They're already making great videos.
I understand, but ones with certain people that, I don't know. Well, we'll have to see. That's something to keep an eye on.
Or maybe Elon could take us all to Mars. And let the AI have Earth.
Or send the AI to Mars. Oh man, but it's wild. I'm probably gonna start investing to it a little bit more, like in my work, like with money, not like. Well, I guess I already have with NVIDIA, but I think it's dope, and it's interesting to see what's gonna happen. But yeah, man, good conversations. Well, I feel like this was a productive conversation, more productive than when we just call each other. Because you always be like, man, I ain't want nothing. But no, and I appreciate you coming down, But yeah, I mean, is there anything else? I feel like we covered a lot. We got the first takes out there. We got talking about NBA, we talked about mom and stuff like that. So I think it was pretty dope conversation. What do you think of this? Your first podcast, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so you could tell at the beginning you was a little nervous, but as we got going, you just
Yeah, just trying to stay professional. That's the hardest part for me. But, if we were in your kitchen, it'd be a lot different.
Well, this ain't live, I could cut stuff out, but no, I mean we can do it live if sometimes. But no, hopefully we have fun. And we'll see if we have you back or not. I will say I feel like the conversation was up there. Might have been better than the Jason episode. I don't know. We'll see if you saw this or not. But no, man, I appreciate having you on. Hopefully, you're happy with the product beat out there. I'll let you know when it goes live. You can watch it. It's always fun watching yourself. But at this stage, I don't even watch my episodes. And I just hope that I didn't make a mistake.
I think the last time I was on something like this, I was like player of the game at McKinley, and they brought me on a local TV show that the students at Timken ran. So,
oh, for real?
I think I was in there with a G-Unit shirt on. I thought I was, I was a huge 50 Cent fan at the time, so I had to.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You loved you some 50.
Yeah, so I had my G-Unit shirt on. And I was talking about, the game, and Coach Johnson took me to McDonald's. I think I had like 2 McChickens or something. I'm like, don't tell nobody I bought you this.
Now you put this business in the street. Oh, that's dope. But no, I'm glad we was able to have this conversation. Glad to hear the story of you at Pizza Hut with Carrie. I feel like I've had to heard that before, but I just haven't heard it in a minute. So, but yeah, we gonna wrap it up. So glad we got another episode done. Remember to subscribe, like the video, and we'll put, Dominique's socials in the description as well. You can go give him a follow. And who knows, maybe he'll be on more episodes. We'll see. But again, appreciate you guys always watching. And hopefully we'll see you in the next episode.
I got a crib by the water. Say me casa su casa. It feel like Casablanca. Shawty, you my little mama. I got a crib by the water. Say me casa su casa. It feel like Casablanca. Shawty, you my little mama. She be on that Henny. I like that Corona. I love her smell.